to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemmy Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot,
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough in
Chrissy,
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Tim.
And I'm mental. Oh, and it is me. Sorry. And we. Seriously, I'm
Okay,
like scrolling
you
up on this one.
Start this one over again.
We
Yeah,
don't
this is
edit.
funny.
So,
We made it 11 words. We made it 11 words.
Okay.
We warned you that the 300s were going to be a lot of Ferraris. This episode is no exception. Now, Ferrari never made a 388 model, but a UK-based Ferrari restoration and resto mod shop, Moto Technique, did begin creating them in 2022. Now, the link is in our notes, but the highlights are it's a 308 with now a bored-out 3.8-liter V8, stroker crank titanium rods, standalone fuel injection, and custom inlet manifolds. This and the other mods make 400 horsepower. They also rebuild the gearbox with bespoke gearing for higher speeds, fit it with custom-made two-piece 18-inch wheels, reinforced suspension wishbones, multi-adjustable dampers, brakes from a 360 Modena, and electric power steering. Your mileage may vary, but I think it still looks like a 308, but just better. And if you read this whole article, it has what it takes to start running with a lot of the more modern stuff. So, oh, good looking car.
Cool.
What you working on, gang?
Chris, how about you?
I've been doing some car work. The MG radiator that had a leak, I brought it to the local guy who just part-time fixes radiators, and like we said, his method is you leave it by. So he called me. He's yep, you're all done. It's about a week, 10 days later. I said, great. What do I owe you? He said, well, it'll be $65. I said, okay, great. How can I pay you, and where can I pick it up? He said, well, go back to the house. It's in the bed of the Chevy Silverado in the driveway, and just leave the cash in the glove box of that Subaru Forester. It's in the driveway, which is like on 4 flat tires, hasn't moved in a long time. I said, okay, sounds great. Then I reminded him that he helped me out with a Citroen fuel tank back in the day, and that I appreciated that and wanted to find him for this one. He's like, man, you're not moving up in the world, really. You want me to fix that?
He's not wrong.
He's like, but I'm glad I could help you either way. So, yeah, it's nice to support a small local business that
I
the
feel
guys
like
do
an
great.
MG's better than us. I guess. There are people that argue the point.
Different problems. Different.
Different
What?
problems.
You have to leave cash in the car. Make sure it's a Forester with 4 flat tires, because no one's going in that.
Yeah, and it's been in this spot for a while. It
yes.
is becoming an ecosystem.
Yep. It's got a
Very
patina.
nice.
It's got,
Yeah.
I think it had one arm, windshield wiper arm up permanently, and there's bees all around it. Yeah. Not good.
Now it's just the drop
The
box,
bees, the
essentially.
bees are secure. The bees are the security. That way nobody goes in there and steals his cash.
Yep.
Yep.
They're trained to recognize a deposit, but a withdrawal.
Yeah, I was happy to pay him
so good.
$65 to fix that radiator and not spend $400 on a new one. So came home,
Yeah.
quick scuff of some spray paint where he'd fixed it, or sandpaper, and then some spray paint, put it back in. It's fine. So then I would start the car. So this is great. And then the fuel pump decides, nope, not going to work. And the fuel pump has been kind of iffy for a while, but I've always been able to prime it up and get it to work. Or
Goodness.
really, this is not kidding. This is part of MG ownership. You hit it with a hammer a few times, and that frees it up, and then you clean the
Did not.
contact points in the fuel pump. So I took those apart and cleaned the contact points again, and it worked a couple weeks ago when I got it to run. This time it just would not do it. It finally said, no, I am done. This fuel pump has been in the car since I got it in 1994. Who knows how long it had been there before then? It is not out of
Right?
question that it is original. I have no idea, but no amount of hitting it with hammers.
41 years is a very effective usage rate for a fuel pump.
Right. It didn't have that many gallons through it in that
But
time.
you're upset that you have to get them, like get a new one.
Well, I would just, no amount of jumping terminals with a screwdriver and trying to force prime it would get it to pump enough to get up to the engine bay. So
You of all people should
pump.
needs fuel pump.
new fuel pump. You of all people should know that there's just some things you can't fix without new pump.
Full pump. Yep. Goodness.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so
It's
now
like,
I have
it's like you're
ordered a new
reverting back to your
solid-
teenage self, and it's like, no, can't spend money, must make broken thing work.
This is welcome to my
Well,
life these days.
Most of an MG you can fix with a hammer.
I do
how
remember
they
when I
work.
had my midget, I was
Also,
told,
we just-
like multiple people told me, get like one of those plastic mallets to bang on things, to
Yeah.
get it to work, and always carry like
works.
the brass brushes. Yeah.
It works surprisingly often. So I thought I would get it to work again. But no, it doesn't. So anyway, I ordered a modern facet solid state fuel pump that is far more reliable and smaller and whatnot. So I have to make a mount for it when that shows up tomorrow. And yeah, just to get the lines all hooked up for it. But I mean, it's a better choice. Yeah. But it doesn't do the same original, like clicky, 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 clicky that the original one did. But it'll work better. And it was way cheaper than another SU one. So
I bet one of our listeners could probably solder you up a soundboard that would just make a clicky clicky noise on a delay when you would when
but
you
it varied.
apply power.
It varied. If you hadn't run in a while and you turned it on, it would click really fast to fill up the lines. And then once it got pressurized, the click slowed down until it stopped clicking. Well, this one, something had been wrong where it never stopped clicking. It would always just go click, 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 which means telling me something's leaking inside. It's not doing it. Whatever. New one coming. I'll leave the old one with the car in case the new owner wants to rebuild it or some crap if they're a masochist, but who knows. Cleaning out the house more, organizing, getting rid of things. We're going to have a huge free pile at the upcoming NJMP race, and along with a small for sale pile of things that have some notable value. But getting all those things ready to go. I got some more stuff on eBay, and yeah.
And I know what you're thinking, listeners. Why do I want Chris and Chrissy's crap? Because their crap is better than your crap. It just is. Because they bought better crap to start with.
Sometimes depends on what it is, but sometimes. Mental. What you doing?
I finally, after I got to do that, like 13, 14 months, my truck is legal. So I have plates and registration and insurance. And
What?
I didn't realize it.
That's impossible.
Why? Why start now?
Why now?
I actually did want to put plates on it. Next month is the Colorado Gambler 500. So I am hoping to take Big Chungus.
You have to put plates on it.
Yeah.
What?
I'm hoping to take Big Chungus up to the Gambler 500 in Grand Junction, Colorado next month. So, Nevada doesn't care, but I think Utah gets a little wound up about silly things like plates and current registration.
Joseph Smith wants you to have plates, apparently.
Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum.
I mentioned last week getting the final corner of my garage. So I got my the tables redone and used up a bunch of stickers that I've had around that coated the tables and then put epoxy over that and got those. And it's a much more efficient use of space. So I now got the Formula V stripped down to just the frame so I could start actually designing it for my feet and my steering, how I want the thing to go. But I got it stripped down so that I can get it out and move the Honda end. So that's next up on the project list, is to sit down with a voltmeter and a lot of patience and finish wiring up like the maybe 8 or 9 wires that are left on the Honda Civic and try and get that one running. So that is, just slow progress on trying to clear out projects, which is my New Year's goal from like 3 years ago.
Hey, it could still be a carryover goal. We have those. It's fine.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Just because the year went
It's a
by
journey,
doesn't
not
mean
a
it's no
destination.
longer- right. It's still a goal.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go quick because Tim's got a laundry list here.
It's gonna go fast though.
Okay, great. So I ran a 5K. I've been training for a while. I know 5Ks don't sound like much when people do marathons and all this stuff. I just like to run 3 miles and then stop. So
And have a beer.
and then have a beer.
Yeah, first off, 5K is a lot farther than most people can run.
Sure.
You know,
And I ran it
what'd you
pretty
do this
fast.
weekend? I went for a run. Was someone chasing you? No, there was a beer. There was a beer at the end.
Correct. And Chris telling
My
me go
conscience
faster.
was chasing me.
So I ran it pretty fast, not a PR, but pretty close. Really did well in my age range. So I was 6th in my age range, and
But that's an
82nd
improvement over the same race last year. Like it's not
Correct.
your PR, but you
So much.
did way better
Yeah,
than
I
last
did.
year in the same race. Awesome.
82nd over out of 352 people. Yeah, so it was good. I'm pretty happy with it. And so then I had a beer, did some laundry, did some yard work. Then I got together with my best friend's family on Sunday. So that's great. We brought lunch over and did some tie-dye and made a shed. So
I built a shed there.
you built a shed.
Shed.
with all that English
Yep.
car with all that English car in your veins, were you compelled to go into the shed and start making things?
Well, the Makita drill I had was much more reliable than the shed or anything else that would come out of it. So yeah, that was enough.
And it was just for bikes. So anyway,
Yep.
We had a nice time, and it was a fun after a run, relaxing weekend. Tim, what do you got going on?
Holy cow, I've been busy.
I see so much
Holy cow.
victory in all of it.
So it's been a lot. So I flew back from Maine just to prepare to drive across the country. So while I've been packing and doing last minute stuff that needs to happen for leaving the house, irrigation work and all the things, I was able to wrap up the high school golf season that I'm the assistant coach in. We had a great season. Super proud of the kids. We ended up winning our league. A couple of kids went in as far as through Division 2 and up to Division 1 and competed. So that was cool. I've got the trailer packed with all sorts of fun stuff, toolboxes and chairs and a giant wine fridge. We've got 20 cases of wine stored and ready to go. That should last me through Wednesday. And then additionally, the Corvette on the ground, drove it around the neighborhood a little bit. Luckily, I didn't go too far because I didn't appropriately bleed the cooling system, and it started to get hot. So I booked it back to the house 2 blocks and waited for it to cool down, and it sucked up the entire reservoir of coolant in there. So topped that off. So we'll have I got a little bit of work to do on that when I get back in town, but it ran under its own power, drove around it. Making a great fuel pressure.
Did it blow any of the ladies' clothes off that you drove by with how much power and the noise that it makes? Just blow them right off?
Well, they were throwing them at the car.
Oh, got it. Okay.
all of the ladies' clothes and 3 dudes. We don't judge.
It was more the
2 blocks.
landscapers that I drew by where they're like this, where there's no nose or hood on the car and things like blah 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 blah.
And they're wearing earphones and have gas powered blowers. Like, what is that?
Totally.
So I think a couple of tweaks to it, and then I think it's going to be ready to go to the tuner to get everything done, because it's got a hotter cam, so it's got a lot of new stuff that needs to be dealt with. It's running a little lean, so I'm sure that's just tune related. So we'll get that figured out, and she'll be ready for the road. if you were on the Instagrams, you'll see that the 59 El Camino had escaped my brother's shed in Maine and is now in my toy box. There is a giant pallet behind it that is loaded with trim and bumpers and tail lights and all of the millions of bits that are going to need to be laid out on the floor like a giant erector set and figure out where everything goes. So I'm sure I'm going to spend like $700 in trim clips for that thing. But we'll figure it out. We'll get there. So I'm super excited about that. There's a short list of things to do on that car. And that is install a new fuel tank, new fuel lines, transmission gasket, replace the battery, fix the ignition wiring, install front and rear bumper, install all 8 million pieces of trim. Of course, after I polish them and send some to get chromed, then I'll redo the entire interior, install taillights, marker lights, rewire all of those, buy new tires, wheels, install an air ride system. And that's just what I know off the top of my head. So
That's a shorter list than Chris's MG.
Couple weeks.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Hey, tip for the chrome. I was amazed at how well my chrome cleaned up with glass cleaner. I use Sprayway and triple out steel wool. Like,
okay,
amazed at the difference. And then I add a metal polish and stuff. Actually, I'm going to send you my chrome polish and my polishing tools that I don't need anymore because I have done the chrome polishing and I have most of the bottle left and I have the tools left. So you put it in a drill and chuck it up and it does a nice job. But the steel wool worked great.
Awesome.
Bring it to Jersey. There you go.
I can push it
Now it's the third pile.
Yeah, bring it to Jersey.
For sale pile, giveaway pile, 10 pile.
Well, it's still giveaway. Just giveaway to Tim.
Just to a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
That's it. So we tomorrow's my last day to get all the things packed and put away, and we get on the road Thursday morning. And no, the dog has not gotten over getting car sick. So
Oh, no.
yay.
Oh, how much more training have you done?
Every day I've been in the car
shoot.
multiple times. She threw up today, but she hadn't thrown up the 3 previous days. So
Okay.
progress. I mean, we were in stop and go traffic this morning, so that might have something to do with it. But
Oh,
that'll make anybody sick.
you'll learn. You'll learn what makes her most sick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have time to figure it
How
out.
are you?
Tundra's great. I gotta say, super happy with it. The only thing it doesn't have that I would like to have had was the extendable tow mirrors, but they didn't have one in that trim level package in the entire state of California. So they could have ordered me one, but it would have been like 3 months, and who knows what would happen with tariffs and all the other nonsense. So I just bought one off the lot, and if I hate it, I'll just wait for somebody to roll one over and grab some.
You should be able to
Extendables.
order them
Yeah.
from the parts department.
Yeah, they're $1,000 if you get them from the parts department.
Each?
I didn't go that far. It doesn't matter.
Dear God.
That's
You
too
wait
many.
till someone crashes it. Probably not roll over because then they're going to break the mirrors off. But
rear-ended. Yeah.
God, that's literally a limo. You could buy a limo or extendable mirrors,
Yes.
or you get like a camera system out of
Priorities.
Less, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's got Bluetooth capable trailer
Nice.
camera. So you can set that up, which is cool. And what's one thing that's neat with this too, which is helpful with the dog, because we've got the crate in the back seat. The mirror, the rear view mirror, has got a toggle on it where it will switch from normal mirror, and you toggle it, and then it uses the camera that's on the back of the cab that will then show you your rear view mirror in camera form. So if you've got something in the back seat that's blocking you, you can still see out of the back, which is cool.
Wow.
And now you know.
Great.
Now you know. Do 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 do. Yeah. Do 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 do.
Gotta write down to edit that in.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Move on. It's news and notes time.
There is a video link, which we're going to show you right now. What is it showing you? Surface showing a Volvo EX90's LiDAR system can damage your smartphone's video camera. Gannon Burgett from Car and Driver reports that the LiDAR, which is light detection and ranging, and don't email us. It is light detection and ranging, not laser. Laser is a form of light, which works by firing pulses of laser light to ensure and to measure objects and create a precise 3D map of the surrounding area. While these lasers are invisible and considered safe to the human eye, but they can damage image sensors, such as the CMOS chips in your smartphone camera arrays. So think twice about porting your cameras towards these
Smartphone camera arrays.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
That is
That's what we're just
wild.
filling in when you gigablast. So,
We just-
but if
we
you're,
just keep-
the next
just-
part is in your recording, it's smooth on your end,
Oh,
which is great.
okay. All right. Attention, track rats. Pirelli has a new tire that you may want to look at for your track car. The Pirelli Trofeo track tire is pretty much a DOT approved, almost nearly, racing slick. This tire is intended for various SCCA and NASA championships that require drivers to use DOT approved tires. While intended strictly for track use, they are technically street legal. Size range from 17 to 21 inch wheels. Sorry, Miata. Check out the article by Jack Fitzgerald from Car and Driver.
When you say they have tread on them, it looks like a 6-year-old took a razor blade and just like scratched it.
Like twice.
And not even all the way around. It's just in a spot.
Just a
and
couple
then
spots.
Another spot.
Yeah.
Tread.
My uncle, long before I came along, used to drag race, and they would always get on to guys for having drag slicks on there. So the phrase was marshmallow slicks, and it was drag racing tires with one little tiny tread around the entire tire, exactly the same ilk as this. So you didn't have to change them. That's hilarious.
Sounds great to drive on the street. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Right until it rains or is
Yep.
dusty.
Mm-mm.
Every rock will be cleaned. from your road,
yeah.
though.
I
Yep.
wonder
Yes.
what the
Don't drive behind them.
I'm genuinely curious what the tread wear is on it.
Probably 40.
4. It's 4.
Right? None. One.
Done. You looked at it. You need to swap it. Sorry.
Oh.
It's either 2 or 200, depends on who was where they spun the wheel that day, because it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Oh, well, our former guest and garage whisperer Kyle Smith has another thought-provoking bit at Hagerty. It's almost summer. Garage season is in full swing, and sure, you've done the maintenance on your car, your tow pig, and your trailer. You might have even got the DD up to spec, and even your lawn equipment has fresh fluids and sharp cutters. But what about those tools? Something to consider next time you're poking around the shop and need something to avoid that big project that you're avoiding. Your ratchets, for example. As Kyle says, there's moving parts inside of those, and it means there's some sort of lubrication. He points out that good ones are sealed better than others, but exposure to a variety of solvents like gasoline, brake clean, and you need a little bit of love. Same for your torque wrenches. Cleaning and inspection might save you a needed replacement. If you have a micrometer, calipers, a light cleaning with light oiling and calibration will keep them on your good side. Do you build your own cage at home? Well, when was the last time you inspected the belts and pulleys on your drill press? Any fixed blade cutters might benefit from a sharpening as well. Finally, anything that can rust, take a look at it. It's not a problem here in California, but hastily packed wrenches after a rainy weekend can still start to get some spots. Grab an old rag, a little bit of oil, keep those fully functional as well. What did we miss? Drop us a comment in the dooley doos. Links are in our show notes.
And when you finally do this to that ratchet that's been in your box for 20 years, you're going to say, wow, this works so much better now. Ask me how I know. Just careful when you take it apart. There's little balls and springs. And when you take it apart, those things might come out. So just be careful. And then
Planetary gears and all sorts of crazy things.
Yes, but they were going to attempt to fly, be free.
Yep.
They are.
and then you're just cursing because you've just ruined your favorite tool.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Well, when you have all those tools together, you may want to do something crazy, like replicating Judge Phil's 1965 Impala Hell project. Wait, you say you don't know about Judge Phil's Impala Hell project?
No, tell me more.
Well, prepare for a rabbit hole. There's a 20-part series.
It's
we'll have a link in
brilliant.
the show notes. It is wonderful. Like
I
if
read
you-
this. I read this years ago. This is fantastic. Yeah.
If you haven't, I highly suggest it. It is also just a window into the life of Judge Phil back in the day that is hilarious. He has a great prose style with all this, and you can tell he's passionate about the subject. Anyway, we found on Racing Junk this appropriately conditioned 1964 Chevy Impala, which is available in Philadelphia, listed by a verbose and eloquent gentleman named Loveroy, who writes, no title, no motor, M-O-T-E-R, no transmission, power steering. Sorry. And I'm I'm going to read this correctly as he does. No title, no motor, no transmission, power steering, power brakes, stock rear bucket seats, back seats, console, and front and back bumper, LS and SS hubcaps. That's it. He's not a fan of punctuation, except for the one in the beginning that says no title. He does have 3 pictures, though. That's good.
And 1 comma.
Yep. He is up $1,000, but I think cash in hand with a trailer is going to make that price drop pretty quickly here for Loveroy.
In Philadelphia. So come join us.
In Philadelphia.
Come visit while you're here.
Yep. It's a great start to Judge Phil Hell Project Impala.
For those of you that aren't on the YouTubes, it does have all of the glass, which is nice.
And
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Good. Maybe that's worth $3,000. Okay, upcoming races. Champ Car is the Embracing AI double down at the Glen, back-to-back 7s. Hopefully there's weather is better than the last race at AER. Maybe this race is why AER is counting so low. 100 cars, 33 BMWs.
Boring.
No, it's okay.
It gets
Well,
worse.
All the other
It does.
BMWs were at AER, so that's why they're not there.
37 if you count the minis, 21 Miatas. It's like spec Miata. Like,
Wow.
just like, yep.
Yes.
58 out of 100 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 Hondas, 11 Porsches, and a Veloster.
Jeff's there?
Probably not.
Jeff's car isn't quite at that status yet, but give it time. Give it
Yeah.
time.
I wonder how the weather's going to be. We'll see.
3 more potholes. It's there.
and
I-
a parking lot accident.
I failed to get the results for the Lucky Dog at AMP.
Recent results, we don't know.
Sorry.
I'm sure Lucky
They
Dog
had a great time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love you, though.
We do.
See you soon.
Lucky always is listener feedback. Okay, more comments on our Eric Root show that was 2 weeks ago on the FB. Greg O said, never a dull conversation with Eric Root, at least for the Lemons Divergent. I'm sure if we all forced our significant others to listen to this podcast, the most frequent feedback would be, oh, great, another you. Enjoy your support group.
Can confirm. Absolutely can confirm.
That's fun.
Well done, Greg. Eric JK said, great episode. Lots of fun. I do love the street circuit concept, and my dream would be the original Watkins Glen street course. I can't imagine the liability issues there, but I can dream, right?
Just put some hay bales out.
Oh
and
my
don't
God.
hurt your
yeah.
children.
And there's houses around. It's like, yeah, we drove it and it's terrifying.
It's fine.
I think the houses around to be like, oh, we do not like these cars. These are bringing down our property values. No. Rafi Ward said Lemons Grand Prix, the streets of Chicago, was a satisfactory answer. It was, yeah. Because then Eric doesn't have to go that far.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie P asked, kind of bummed you didn't ask my follow-up question. He would have loved to see if Eric could have identified the film and remember the stop. Sorry, Charlie. I thought we were getting a little too in the weeds on some of that, even for Eric. So.
On our posted,
Go ahead.
Sorry. On our posting delay last week, Travis B said he was worried. Another lost episode was this as good as the first one that got lost? But I assured him that it was simply recorded but cut off at an amazing time, and it was worth the wait.
Yep.
Or shizzle. Wally S said, Mental forgot to hit record again? So he needs a day to set the cameras and sock puppets up to recreate whatever he remembers from that conversation.
Luckily, DJ 914 was there to defend me, saying Mental Ward considers his sock puppetry as an art form and suffers no criticism of his beautiful recreations. But Wally may have inspired a really great episode idea, like we all just show up one day and Fantastic
Hi, my name's
Shark
Dazzle.
and Dazzle and all of it.
Dazzle?
News and notes
Remember this for next week.
It's
Remember
coming.
this for next week. I gotta remember.
Oh, that would be hysterical for us, at least.
So we discovered on the Bruce Campbell fan page, whatever that is, a Ford Tempo commercial Bruce recorded and reposted it. Eric said, what? Only one engine? No T-drive? Lame.
And then Tom B replied, yeah, but who needs more than 90 horsepower?
Now, B-Train quoted the Escape from LA Star saying, Positive Road Feel is the name of my shoegaze band. And I'd never heard the phrase shoegaze band, but I knew exactly what he means, and I'm going to use that every chance now.
That is a great, great quote. Meanwhile, Greg S. said, I rolled one over in 1989.
Of course he did.
Gosh.
He just
Look at our surprise face.
yeah.
And from our last episode, Michael K. had input on our overlanding rigs, so that the HV 507, Stewart and Stevenson less so, is an Americanized version of the super popular African continent overland rigs. Most of them are the DAF, MAN, or Mercedes medium-duty cab and chassis trucks with a bespoke box, often including enough fluids with fresh water to be self-sufficient for like 14 days.
Of course he's going to school us on the trucks that we...
Yes.
Well, Michael, when I go shopping for one, I'm giving you a call, buddy.
Does he know about the Bongo Friendly, though? Probably not.
Probably
I think no, he's been to
Bongo
Japan.
friendly.
I bet he has. Michael, let us know. Do you know about the Bongo Friendly?
I mean, if anybody knows about the Bongo Friendly, we got to know about it because we still talk about the Bongo Friendly. Anyway, one of our reels also referenced Bruce Campbell from Briscoe County Junior, to which Jim Baggins replied,
That's the show.
"Oh, sorry, Bruce Campbell is a god. Sorry, don't know what you're talking about."
No clue.
Nope.
You know who has never rolled over a Ford Tempo?
Yes, correct.
And also doesn't know who Bruce Campbell is.
That's also correct.
It doesn't need to drive anything more than 90 horsepower.
Who would also consider sock puppetry an art?
Maybe.
It would never point her smartphone at a Volvo.
Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hello, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it? Oh, you cut out for most of that because you were too loud. That's
If you
better.
put the microphone in front of your hand, it would sound better.
Yeah.
For anybody who's
Your hand's too close to the mic.
For anybody who wasn't watching, I was using my hand, my sock puppet, a hand puppet, to say main topic time.
I say now, if it's a sock puppet and you're not wearing a sock, isn't that nudity? Can't that get us banned off of YouTube?
Oh no, that's not great.
Mm-mm.
Sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
This show is taking quite the turn. I do have a sunglass case right here.
In this episode,
Now I'm talking
Oh.
with it.
God, we're all stone cold sober too.
I know.
Water.
Okay.
Water.
Okay.
All right. This is I came out from work and checked my phone, and you guys were deep into this conversation, and I'm just like, God, we did this, and I had to search our show notes. 304 episodes ago, episode 84, we had Kreger's on. But I would say 6 years later, probably deserves a revisit.
Great idea. Yeah.
Well, Timmy came up with this.
Yes. Go ahead.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about the upcoming race at Thunder Hill. It only 0167 hour event, otherwise known as 25 hours and 1 minute. And that way it is longer than the previous race by some other company that does
Base organization ripping off race crew that decided to relocate their crap to Coda.
Because it was always foggy when we ran it in December. Weird. So
yeah, that was part of the fun. Whatever.
So anyway, the race is coming up at Thunderhill and people are getting ready. It is going to be on the 3-mile classic track at Thunderhill, which is going to be great. But if you've ever been to Thunderhill in Willows, it is darker than the moon. So lighting is going to be really, really important. It's kind of like Denver. Like there's not a whole lot of residual light out there in Denver. So you better prepare yourself for that. So we figured, let's have a chat about it. I have never done a 24-hour race.
That's
I
okay.
have judged one. I do want to do one. I'm actually hugely disappointed I'm not doing this one. Thanks a lot, Stella. Because I was lined up and ready to go, but the doggies shot schedule. So
that's the worst.
If only you knew someone who was moving to a place that usually have 24s. That would be really convenient. Anyway.
I didn't realize you hadn't done it
like in the fall, like September.
Yeah. Be after that.
later. Mental, you've done how many 24 races?
In one day?
It doesn't count that way. You have to stay the whole thing, I think.
No.
That doesn't count as two.
Counts. It counts as two. There's only two people that were that dumb. Me and Derek.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I have done. God, I think I've done like 5 or 6. I think I've done most of the true 24s that Lemons has run. And also I have done the NASA 25 hours. First time we finished, the second time we didn't. But it is a good one. And it was at Thunderhill on that one. And you know, the logic is that, oh, well, it's basically just another 8-hour shift. And we are here to dispel that myth. It is not another 8 hours on the car. It is exponentially harder on everything because the car never has a chance to rest. So, and we're going to go through all of this, but that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. And obviously those who have out there that have done the 24s, add in your comments, add in your inputs, your experiences, talk about that. Because it's for a lot of folks in California that have never made the trek to High Plains for their outstanding 24-hour event. It's going to be an experience. I think I'm the only one that likes them. I think everybody else hates them. And then they do them to remind themselves that they hate them and go, why do I keep doing this? And then there's like 4 of us that are like 24-hour races are fucking awesome. Woohoo! I'm sleep deprived. So
I wonder how you feel about that now that you have had some instances where you've questioned your sleep depravity.
Well, yeah, because I was like driving on the freeway and doing 60. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still stay up all night and do a 24-hour race, and then I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay.
Which is actually my plan for this one, because I'm one of the judges. I'm taking my RV, and afterwards I'm going to go to sleep and then drive home.
Got it.
Yep. Well, let's talk about some of the categories that things are different and how to do it better. Like, let's start with the car. And I'll go with something I think that's should be pretty obvious. You need fresh everything. Everything. Tires. With spares. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Brakes. New brakes. New passing rotors, new everything. Wheel bearings. Good idea. Well, whatever
With
that
spares.
thing is, whatever that thing is on your car that you get like 2 to 5 races out of. I don't care if you did it last race. You do it.
You need a spare.
Yeah. You should be bringing spares of any of those things that on your car goes. Right. Like I bring wheel bearings for front drive cars. Yay. They're going to go. Bring them. Do it. Do all the fluids. Do as much prep as you possibly can, because you are going to put more stress in that car than you ever have. Like, think about how often you get through a race weekend, Saturday, and do nothing to the car. It happens, but it's not all that common. And then think about how many of those times you've then gotten to the end of Sunday and gotten home and checked your car and did nothing. And then another 8 hours on top of that. Or 10, actually.
And then 3 track days.
Right. Yeah. And still did nothing.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't happen.
Perspective.
Like we're thrilled. Like after Saturday, we're like, well, I checked the car over. It's fine. I rotated the tires and I cleaned the windshield. Did you have? But that's only 6 to 10 hours, depending on the day. You got a long way to go, my friend.
Well, and that's one of the key points that I think you're talking about. So, with tires, you found that set of tires that will last you an entire weekend on a heavy car or a couple of races on a light car. But one of the keys to that is it is shut down for 10 to 12 hours. In a true 24-hour race, that tire will never cool off. And think of like a pencil eraser when you start kind of just constantly grinding it. After a time, the inside starts to heat up and it starts losing chunks. So you are going to either be replacing your tires during the race to preserve them, or you're going to need a spare set because you're going to wear them down. It's not a linear equation. It is an exponential equation. The longer you on those tires, the faster they are going to degrade.
Yeah. Plan to change your tires. If you have a big, heavy car, plan to change your brake pads mid-race. Like, that has to happen. Like, it's not, I'll do it at the end of the race. No. The end of the race might be like Saturday at midnight if you go at that pace. So you've got to figure out a way to plan for those things, how to look at them, how to check them, and make sure that your car is safe. It's going to start to get tired as soon as the sun goes down, and that's the hardest time to work on it. So plan accordingly.
And just to reiterate, if someone's new or they're confused, the rules about pit stops have not changed. All of that work has to happen in your paddock.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Now, the other thing you need to do is lights. I mean, not just on the front of the car. Yes, you need lights on the front of the car to show you where you're going. This is not as easy as I'm going to go on eBay and buy an LED light bar. That is a no-no. Those are terrible. And you're going to curse every single person that just went and did that the moment
you won't,
because
they're going to fail.
Oh no, yeah, you won't be allowed. You're not going to be allowed on the track.
You're going to fail tech. Yeah.
Good.
Last year, Bob Griffin wrote the rules on your lighting tech, and those rules are now, absolute. And then also the establishment of how to inspect those. There is an inspection device that is coming to the race. It has already been arranged as a bribe, and just having driven 24s, I'm not getting dazzled. I hate it. I'm not putting your stupid Harbor Freight light bar on the roof of your car. No, you're just not getting on the track. And if you disconnect it and then we see it turned on while it's on the track, you're out.
Goodbye. So Mental, why don't you talk a little bit about that? So there is a definitive line that
Confirm.
Yes. That your lights cannot be above a certain lumen above that line. So they have a light sensor that they'll hold above the line. And if the lights at I believe it's 20 feet are above that line, then you will have to go and figure out a way to not have that happen. So normal automotive light bulbs are the best at that, at having a directed beam and not just a big giant shotgun approach. So big fan of those. A lot of the teams that I saw in Denver have apex lights, which as an addition, which is a really nice touch, because when you're making a 90-degree turn and it takes a while for your headlights to get going in the direction that you want to see in. So
what is that? What does that look like?
Yeah, at the corners of the car,
like
and a lot of
slap
times,
on an extra light on the side.
Yeah, so I think like marker lights.
LED.
Yep. One of the things that somebody recommended doing in the other one is you can mount them down in the opening low on the car where the radiator is and point them opposite. So you have the one on the left getting the right corner and the one on the right getting the left corner. So you don't have to put them on the corners of the car in case you make contact. You can still have those live.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice to have. One thing I recommended to Jimmy Varelis in his car is I said, it's really nice to have an interior light in the car. So go and buy one of those stupid little things from Walmart that you go boop, boop, and it just let AAA battery, turn it on. So if you're sitting in the car and you're getting in and you just fueled and you're in the car and then you drop your black glove in the black car at night, you don't know where the hell it is. You doop, and turn it on and check it out. So it's a really good way to do that. When you get out of the car, you can leave that little, low voltage battery light on. So when you get in the car, you can see where all your things are. Light switches.
It helps your crew members strap you in too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good idea.
The little LED, you could just run a string of those up or along the roof to a little switch that the driver can reach, turn it on, turn it off. That you get to everything that way too. Those things are my favorite for putting light in places that it seems hard, because it's so easy and they're 12 volt.
Yeah. And Timmy's comment about the big just stick on 3M tape one, you can hit that with a glove. So you don't have it doesn't require finite motor skills when it's 2:00 in the morning and you can't see. So you just, hit the light, it's on, hit the light, it's off.
I think they're in Gigablast land right now.
I think they are, and they can't blame it on me. Now, we're going to link this in our show notes, but Chris Blizzard did a brilliant Google
document. Yeah, great document
on exactly what's on this. And he references the rules, but he writes this in English, and it's great. And now, this is a very, as my friend calls it, circuitry to crayons level explanation of apex light and how to aim them. And Chris Blizzard knows his stuff. So we're, of course, going to have that linked in the show notes. And if you follow this guide, you're going to have zero hassle with lighting on this one. And one of the points, and this is some of the early 24s, that the reason we had to go this way is there were just people trying to win with light. And there was an entire lighthouse level beam that would go down the track and blind all your opponents, and it was distracting, infuriating, and so to that end,
safe.
Yes,
it's safe.
And they're like, but I can't see. Then
but the people that you just blinded can't see because you blinded them.
Yeah.
All
right. And And of course, you talk about the numbers. You can either do the little marker light on your door to illuminate your numbers, or you can do the LED panels. I recommend the panels because I found myself at last year's HPR 24-hour race being bullied by a judge who said my lights weren't good enough. So I had to, well, actually, I think it was Neil in the car at the time, but yeah, we had to put some reflective tape over our numbers to get on. It was the only Corvette out there, but so no one is immune. You know, if I'm getting hassled, everyone's getting hassled on that one. It's not hard. And as Chris alluded to, everything on that car that is a wear item should be fresh. And then you should also have a spare of that item.
Yep. And one last thing with lights, make the switches, however you want to set it up to turn all of these things on, whether it be your number panels, interior lights, headlights, make it easy. Well, you don't need 12 switches. If you can put them all together or have one master or however you want to do it, go over it with your teammates Thursday and Friday. So everyone knows in advance, because trying to figure that out on the fly with your helmet on while all the cars are, it's not good. And I've seen it firsthand with the Judge robot, and like, man, these guys just should have taken 5 minutes yesterday to talk about this. And those cute little tiny switches you get at O'Reilly's, useless when you're wearing gloves. Big switches. Yep. All right.
Looks also like volunteer.
There we go.
Keep your stock headlight switch in the car and just run stuff off that. Like stuff like the OEMs have figured this out. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just use the stock wiring and stock switches and stuff if you can.
All right. Chrissy, I'm going to dump this one on you, not because you're the lady, but because you were the one that always helps keep everyone fed at the track.
Well, I can try. I'm gig blasting also. And I also only have been to one race, so I'm not really sure that I'm equipped to be able to speak to this, but I'll try. Pit and paddock differences. So, the biggest thing is having extra people, which we'll talk about, but also making sure that we have enough meals because people are getting in and out of the car all the time. So it's one of those things where when we used to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe some snacks out, we have at the race that we went to, we did actually, I can't even take credit for this because this is Chris's amazing idea. What time do you think it was? 2:30?
2:30-ish a.m. Yeah.
Yes. So 2:30 a.m. Or you want to talk about it?
It's amazing. Take the hash brown patties from the supermarket.
Already made. Yep.
Put those on the griddle. Get them nice and crispy, right? Get some sausage, like Jimmy Dean sausage in the roll, and press that out of some patties and some cheese and some eggs, and make sandwiches with the hash browns as the outer part of the sandwich, and then the sausage and the egg and the cheese. And it is glorious at 2:30 in the morning.
So yeah, that's what you're talking, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
For a lot of more reasons than you think, because it's starchy and protein.
Yep.
And delicious.
Just so delicious.
And if you're up at 2 a.m. and you don't really want to be, this is a reward for being up at 2:30.
Yeah. Treat yourself. Yeah.
Pretty much. When all the people that either were sleeping or hanging around, I was like, eat this sandwich and then go to bed. We get to eat these sandwiches. So yeah, but I think the biggest thing is trying to make it so that things are easy. I think there's probably more stress on things that are easily digestible, I would say. So, probably shouldn't have chili. Just like if people are up all the time, then I think that's going to matter. And then it's, normally, I guess we'll get into schedules later, but if you're up or down and sometimes you just go to sleep for a couple hours, whatever is going to sit well. So I would think that easily digestible meals would be good. But Crock-Pot's good too because it's there forever.
Because it keeps. And this one, the prep as much as possible. You do not at 7:00 at night do not have the luxury of an elaborate dinner like you have during a normal race, because your attention is elsewhere. So the more you can have, literally just throw it in the crock pot, turn it on, or pull it out of the cooler, throw it on the hot plate for a little bit and do that. The HPR race, the the snack bar stays open during the actual 24-hour race. I do not know what Thunderhill's plans are.
I don't either. I don't either.
So, but it's you can't count on that. And then if you're planning, if you have to like go and get something, now you're just killing yourself, because you got to go find a store that's open that late. And we will say 2 a.m, but heck, 10 o'clock at night is where a racetrack is. High Plains Raceway, dude, you're gone for 2 hours trying to find something open. And Thunderhill isn't much better. It's 30 minutes to the nearest Walmart. So try and have like literally map out all of your meals and have all that stuff prepped. And one of my favorite things about Chrissy is she has idiot-proofed a lot of meal prep, because she knows she might be in the car and one of us morons has to figure it out. So it's like over the radio, take out these 2 bags. They're in the left side of the cooler.
No. Nope. I have already put them in the cooler, and I will tell somebody to take a spoon and stir it, because I'm not going to try to
in the crock pot. Yeah.
Oh, come on. No. So Chris has some insight on what has happened at CMP.
Well, you have to, once you have everything prepped, it's great. But the key is to have somebody, this goes into personnel, have somebody responsible for all this who knows they're responsible for it and they have it planned and they're going to do it. They call it a team mom. Like we had another guy named Chris with us at CMP, and his job was just to do all the food and hang out. And it was wonderful. We had pizzas at 11 o'clock at night that he made. Okay. Fantastic. It really was nice to have that. You're also going to have to worry about in your paddock lighting. Do you have any light? How much power is there in the Thunderhill paddock? How much power is there? I don't know. Is there good power in the Thunderhill paddock?
There's some. There's big overhead lights, but it'll keep you from walking into a car, but it's not going to be anything if you're doing an engine swap overnight. Ask us.
And they probably don't have outlets everywhere. So you're going to need to have some way of, how are you
get the generator now?
Seriously, do you have a generator? Is it hopefully not one of the cheap ass ones that is 1,000,000 decibels? Please not. Right.
That's what a generator sounds like.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So
highly recommend the Harbor Freight Predator generators. They are awesome and quiet.
The inverter ones. The
inverter, yes.
Ones. Yes, I'm sorry, not the yeah. I've got a really nice one, and it is quieter than my scooter.
I think we lost him.
I'm back-ish. I don't know. Anyway, so how are you lighting your paddock? How are you charging everything that needs to be charged? Like, are your radios in your car even going to last 24 hours? Probably not.
Oh,
right?
Nope.
Wasn't
so
even
do you have a plan to
that.
swap those out? What about the radios in the paddock? How are you going to swap those out? Everything. How are you powering things for 24 hours when your power needs are much greater than they are during the daytime? Last thing I'll talk about here is you need a designated sleep area that is not right in the middle of the loudness if you can help it, because people are going to need to sleep intentionally and potentially.
Pause for dramatic effect.
I have to go edit all these dead spots out afterwards. He was talking about sleep, and that's key. In a few races that I've done, my RV was deliberately parked away from the racetrack, and the whole point of that was to provide a quiet area for sleep. And you're going to want to do that. If you have noise canceling headphones, those are great. With the sleep areas also comes a sleep schedule. And sometimes you literally have to tell people, okay,
go away.
You
yeah.
Go sleep. Even if you can't sleep, just lay down and, at least get rested, because the tendency is at the beginning of the race, everyone's excited, everyone's really, really motivated, and everyone goes until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And then your entire team is crashing and you still got a driver out on the track. And this actually happened to me. The first 24-hour race I ever did was at Autobahn with my buddies from Oklahoma. And I was trying to manage them and they were pushing back on all of it. And I'm in the car. I got into the car at 1 and everyone else had finally just crashed out. And my spotter is like, "Hey man, I'm really beat. So I'm going to go to bed. Just, pull in if you need anything." And I'm driving around and I'm trying to monitor my fuel. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could just drive it over to the pumps. I got my wallet, and I'm out there by myself. And right after the sun came up, someone got on the radio and go, who's in the car right now? It's me. Oh, hey man, how long you been? I've been in the car for like 3 hours. It's time for you. So have that plan, because if something's going to go wrong, as we keep mentioning, it's not going to be when you're ready for it. So you need people that know where the tools are, know how to fix the car, and keep, your chief mechanic asleep so they can get to the car the next day. Chrissy.
Don't be a dick and try to push back on not going to bed. We definitely had that. And people were like, "No, I'm fine." Like, no, literally go to bed. And just like, don't, if it's your time. And I think it probably helpful to put that out ahead of time before you start. You're doing driver order. You probably need to have sleeping order too.
Yes.
And
yes.
you don't. I don't know that we might talk about this later, but I think it really fits in with, if you're don't push back. It's your time to go to bed, whether you're tired or not. That's what you need to do. So, yes.
All right. If you've done the 24 in Denver, one thing that you aren't used to is the fact that it's going to be 105 degrees that day. So you're going to be just destroyed by the time 9 o'clock rolls around. Like, whoever's going first, whoever's out there in the heat, like, go get a hotel room and go take a shower and take a nap off the track, so you're not tempted to go and see what's going on. Like, step away and then come back, send the next guy. Like, get away. It's going to be really hot. It's going to be really hot. I think it's only supposed to cool down to like 65 in the middle of the night. So
we have the weather report. Tom
you said
Zhang,
Denver, not we're talking now.
But Denver's the same way. Denver is like mean hot.
Yeah.
And then it cools off at night, and you're finally catch up on dehydration and you're dead. It is going to be over 100 degrees Friday and Saturday, and then 99 on Sunday.
Yeah, bullshit. It's going to be over 100 on Sunday too. Don't kid yourself.
and that's for the neighborhood. That's not for the track where you're sitting on hot pavement that has been baking all day long on that one. So yeah.
They have showers at Thunder Hill. There's 4, so there's not a lot, but they do have them. But go and get things like athletic wipes, right? So that like, if you standing there, you're sweating, you're not ready to like leave and go take a shower somewhere, grab a handful of those, wipe yourself off. It cools you down. You feel like a new human being again, right? Things like baby wipes, right? Like get a lot of stuff like that you are just comfort, like human driver comfort things. Really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Hot pit. Now, we talked about paddock lighting. Also in the hot pit, you need to make sure that your whatever you're using to signal your driver has some sort of light on it, because they need to be able to find you as you're coming into the paddock, and they
or reflective. Or reflective.
And as soon as they see you, Chris's point about leaving the original switches, they need to be able to turn off the lights, or you're going to blind your entire pit crew. You are going to need some form of lighting. Now, you can use a flashlight. I've seen people successfully. You have one person holding a flashlight, pointed at the gas tank while someone's dumping in fuel in there. Another one that I've seen effectively used is those, the headbands that we like so much. You can put those outside of your helmet, and those are good. Just be very careful as you are walking around getting ready that you're not blinding your teammates.
Chris does that to me in the garage. Does Thunderhill not have any lighting at the hot pit?
They do, but you want it better and you want it precise.
Because CMP had like the floodlights. So like you could see, as long as, if you were outside of that light beam, you were a little further away, but it was definitely lit enough that you could see like where the gas is going. I mean, obviously you can't necessarily organize yourself by which pit is yours or which team is yours, right? Especially if it's in the dark. But at least
Thunderhill has the floodlights. HPR, they bring some in, but it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's having something on that one. And then taking care of you there. So there's your pit and your product and your prep differences. We'll talk about during the actual race.
Yeah, you've got a plan to stop. You are not going to Ironman this thing through 24 hours and hope for the best. Nope.
No.
Have a window where, all right, between this time and this time, if there's a good time to come in, at night in the dark, we're going to do that. Like around halfway through the race, it's dark, so everyone's going a little slower. It's not too late. Tim?
How many teammates should be there for that check?
Well, I don't know. How many?
I think it's, if you've established shifts, a good time to bring the car in for a nut bolt check is right at that shift change when you've got the two groups together and they're doing a handoff. So they'll tell you what's going on with the car. Okay, da-da-da-da-da. We brought it in. Yep, we're going to go ahead and change the tires. We're going to do the brakes. Let's get the fresh driver in there. Okay, night crew, you got it. Good. We're out. And then the night crew fuels them up before they go back out into the race. And that way you've got enough bodies, but everyone still needs an assigned job. You, Tim, you're going to be doing the tires. Chris, you're going to swap out the radio. Chrissy, you're going to make sure the walk around and see anything dangling out the car and make sure it's got oil and everything else that it needs in there. And you have everything that you're going to need to look into, have that planned out and have that pit stop. Don't rush, don't go around, but you also don't want a Three Stooges situation where 4 people are trying to do one thing and nobody's trying to do the other 2 things that need to get done.
Yep. Whiteboards, lists.
Yes.
So I know we're not trying to win because most 99% of the people are not trying to win. How do you do this if you're trying to win?
Why would you try to win?
So when we were there, the champagne showers won B. So I was just trying to figure out how
they kind of fell into it, which I think is how most of the time you win in a 24 is you just kind of fall into it. Things happen to go really well and to go poorly for other people.
Okay.
And it much more so than a normal race because you're so much more at the mercy of the fates as to how the car works, as to if you don't get crashed into,
right,
or all those things.
Okay.
I mean, it's get a program.
Prep and planning.
Yep. Get a program, get a plan, work the plan, don't take risks, and then see where you're at 20 hours into the race.
Right.
And then figure it out. You still got 4 hours left. There's a lot that could happen.
At one point, like early in the morning at the 24 Autobahn 10 years ago, in a Class B car, we found ourselves in first overall by like 9 laps. And the temptation was to push for the overall win. And we had cooler heads and the team said, nope, that's a dumb idea. And insisted, as the sun came up about 8:00 in the morning, brought the car in, did just a 30-minute pit stop, checked everything, got it up in the air, made sure nothing was going wrong, swapped out the radios, put the wheels back on, torqued them back on. And it was a good thing too, because we ended up having a radio problem that we had to address. Still won B, but we were falling into the temptation of, we have to go harder. And that's never the answer. Always stick to a laid out plan of consistent, sustainable performance. If you're trying to win, you want to be the same for the first 4 hours as you are for the last 4 hours.
Okay.
And don't dawdle, but don't rush. As when you rush, you're going to make mistakes. Move with purpose.
Or get hurt.
Right. Move with purpose. do you have a plan? Do your plan, and you'll be all right.
Okay.
I don't think you need to take a half-hour pit stop. I think you can do a lot of it a lot more quickly than that. Assuming you don't find anything wrong, but that's if you're planned and organized and ready, and don't waste time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say just something. If you're the overnight driver, and every time I have done this, I end up being the overnight driver because it's always this. Well, I can't see at night. Oh my God, every time. But you want to protect your night vision. Now, there are lights at the track, and there are lights in the car. I do run all night races with a tinted visor. I know that sounds dangerous. I promise you it's not. It really, because it is polarized, it reduces a lot of glare. If you get a light shined into your eyes, and this is physiology, it's going to take your lights at least 30 more minutes to adjust back to the darkness. So as you are approaching the track, consider having a pair of sunglasses. If you're getting into the car at night, even if you're not going to drive with a tinted visor, have something that's going to protect your vision right up until the minute you're supposed to get into the car. If you have a large windshield in the back or back windshield, blue tape put over in stripes about the width of the blue tape itself will greatly reduce how much light comes flooding into your car while you're driving. You also there are static cling tent sheets that you can put on the car once it goes dark and then pull it right back off at night. And that will help save some of your vision. And if you find that your side mirrors are blinding you, you can also lay over those tinted shields on your side mirrors and if you don't have a flip up rear view mirror, just to protect your night vision, because what matters is what's in front of you and you don't want it washed out, which is one of the reasons they have the light regulations now.
$13 on Amazon. There is a night anti-glare visor attachment that you can flip down and look through that, and you can look through the windshield and look through the rear view mirrors. It won't work on the side view mirrors, but you can figure that out. But you just flip it down right in front of you. Then you don't have to worry about something on your actual helmet. Flip it back up if you don't need it. It's $13 on Amazon. I will put a link in the show notes.
Great.
Yep. Last thing is, this is simple. Slow down a little. Seriously. Yes. Just back off a little. You don't have to, you can still go racing. That's fine. But back off that little bit. So you're not chewing those tires up quite as much. You're not burning those brakes quite as quickly. You don't go for those low percentage moves inside because you know what? That person can't see you. You've got to be really sure and confident in your passing that they know you're coming. And if you're a slower car, you've got to have your head on a swivel at all times. Who's around you? Be deliberate, be predictable, go a little bit slower. You cannot win unless you finish. And crashing is not going to help you.
Yep.
Okay. Last topic. Personnel. Personnel.
Yeah. I will vote that you need to have 6 drivers for a 224.
There are a handful of super hardcore teams that can do it. You ain't that super hardcore team. 6 drivers.
Because that's 4 hours of driving per person if everything goes well.
That's so much.
That's a lot.
You get 3 days on the day shift, 3 guys on the night shift. 3 guys. I mean, that's it, right? How are you going to do people,
girls,
humans?
and the last 24 I did last year at HPR, we had 2 people fall out. They were physically ill and could not get back in the car. It was a scramble after that.
Yeah.
And that was with 6 drivers.
So that's your minimum. And beyond that, you need to have non-driving people there with you. Highly recommend to have 1, if not 2, designated pit people who are organized, have their crap together. They're handling the food. They're making sure the fuel cart is ready and loaded. They're herding the cats. They are keeping things on track.
How many people did you say?
I said 2 because you can't last the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But, not everyone has a Jackie.
Oh my
They
God.
should.
Well,
Right.
and a Jackie probably, I think she took a week to recover because I think she slept for half an hour here, half an hour
She
there.
did the
just
whole
between
thing by herself,
she
and
did.
that
And
was not
multiple cars too. Yes.
The way I ended up doing the 25 hours at Thunder Hill is a friend who had run vintage with him said, they like, oh, we're going to go do this. Do you know anybody that knows how to do one of these? He's like, well, I know a guy. And he called me. And so I sat down with him and you talk about these positions. We say pit mom and pit dad. Pit dad is, and it's not gender specific. That's just the words that we use. That's the one in charge of the fuel truck, the tools, and the car. Pit mom is in charge of the paddock, keeping all the tools put away, keeping everybody fed and watered. When I brought up that topic, because they all had a sailing background, there was captain and commodore. Captain was in charge of the car. Commodore was in charge of the logistics over everything. And you had to have day commodore and night commodore and day captain and night captain. But it was, and some of these jobs were filled by drivers, but it was a primary function from this hour until this hour. It's this person that is handling that. From that hour to that hour, it's this person. So there was never a question of who do I bring this problem to? You knew it was on a whiteboard and you knew who you're going to talk to.
Mhm. Yep. That's what's going to make or break your race. Absolutely. And your experience for that matter. Because you don't have the person that says like, oh, fuel. Oh, somebody who's getting in the car next. Oh, I don't know. They're still sleeping. Oh, they're still dicking around. Where's the fuel? Don't know. Like that.
Who's got the keys? Who's got the keys to the truck? We got to go down the street and get more gas.
Mhm.
Yeah. No. I like the idea of two people because one person, it's a lot on one person.
Yep. And that bleeds into this last point there, Chrissy, if you wanted to.
Other planning? what we're
Under
talking about?
personnel decisions, just like the knowing your people.
I think it's all about planning. It is we can even just move that into the next one. It's planning, is figuring out who does what, who can do what the best, put them in that job, figure out and make sure that they are aware of that, and then put it into the plan. So
we know Chrissy can't get the 2 a.m. shift. It's just her brain does not work at 2 a.m.
I won't do well then.
Can't work.
10 o'clock, Chrissy's going to bed. That's life. We understand it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Day shift. Check.
Or that's saying who can't. Like I always end up doing sunrise shifts. Okay, it's work because I don't operate well in that 2 to 4 a.m. category, but I can get up to be ready for it and to be ready for the sunrise shift and be ready for the pits before then and handle the changing light conditions and all that stuff. Works out fine.
That's so weird. I love that. I love like the 11 a.m. to sunrise, just that everything.
Sunrise shift is great. It's fun to see the change in the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like everything, like overnight, everything just gets a little quieter and a little more mellow. And everyone's kind of settled into a rhythm, but you can still hear someone kind of over in the paddock beating on their car, trying to get it back out onto the track. It's a little.
Well, I highly recommend everyone, if you're not driving, find a time in the middle of the night to go stand up near the track and just watch it.
Yeah, like at Thunder Hill, go to the top of the hill. It's awesome. Yeah. And I think we've got a
Watched
little
it. I was like, bedtime. Gotta go.
I think we've got a cats and dog category down here. Other plans.
Yeah. Well, we already talked about whiteboards, spreadsheets, be organized. Who is the driver? Who is the one in the pits on the radio running that? Who is sleeping? Who is dealing with food? Who is on deck? Everyone needs to know where they are at any given time and to follow the schedule. No, I'm okay. I'm not going to do that right now.
We talked about that while you were gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
push
do that.
back. Yes. And it's not about your abilities. It's about what the team's going to need in the future. And if and that's why you had this conversation long before the race, not on Saturday morning when you're getting ready to do that.
Have a Zoom meeting. Like talk about it.
Several rolling text thread.
Yeah. What's specific to your group, right? You know each other best. Figure it out. Like figure out who these people are.
Okay. If you are going to be driving at night in darkness, it doesn't even have to be the overnight shift. It could be depending on the race, the 7 o'clock or the 8 o'clock shift. sometime during the day, you need to be on the track, either during the practice day or during the day shift. And you're not trying to win and you're not trying to set a lap record. What you are building muscle memory of what that track feels like. Okay, turn 2. I know that I come into third gear, touch the brakes, set the nose, and as I do the steering, I feel that one bump from the pavement crack. And okay, here's where the pavement shifts a little bit. There's some grip there. Oh, here's the rocky stuff where it makes this weird noise. Here's that. And you are building non-visual cues as to where you are on the track. So you know if you are on the line, which I hate to say, but or at least in the correct position. And it's still, you get a feel for that rhythm of what a lap physically feels like in that car when you can't see everything.
Watch videos. Watch video. If you've never been to the track before, watch videos. Know every single turn by number. Know
this might be a good time to draw it, actually. Because we haven't talked about drawing maps lately, but
not for a long time. Yeah, that's an excellent way to learn a track. I made a team
in Denver do that as a penalty because they couldn't figure out where the damn boxes were with the flaggers in them. So
I was just going to say, just drive around the track with your eyes closed, because that's what it sounds like you're trying to do.
Because you don't get all the visual references. You don't get there's the yellow house in the distance. Basically, it's like Button Willow without all the heat. There's no external visual references. Timmy, I think this last bit's you.
Bring extra gear. Like, remember, 105. That suit is going to be gross. Like, hang it upside down. Do you have a place to do that? Do you have a place to hang up all your helmets and your socks and all the things that are going to be disgusting? If not, go get more so you don't have to put that gross stuff on again. Like it's really, really
nothing
nice
like putting on a soaking wet, skanky, wet driver suit again. Oh no.
And whatever you do, don't share anybody else's. It's bad enough if you have to do it yourself.
No.
But
if you're going to share it, you're going to share equipment, it better only be a Hans device. That's it.
Yeah. I have thrown away socks because of how like the fireproof socks because of how they smelled after a 20 year. I'm like, nope, there's no saving these. I'm buying a new pair. Don't care. I will totally go to Discovery Parts and just wait till they're on sale. Socks and all that kind of stuff. And if you are doing multiple shifts, I read, it was an article by Hurley Haywood, who is an amazing endurance driver. Fresh socks and underwear every time. You have no idea how good it feels to just go into a bathroom, wash off real quick, throw on a clean, fresh pair of underwear and clean, fresh socks. It will absolutely do wonders for your mood.
Your mood, your attitude, your readiness to be a fast racer.
Your ability
needs to be in a good mood.
Safe racer.
Safe racer.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, good luck to anybody who's going. Hopefully there's people that are headed there and they're listening to this and they're all excited.
Oh, it is 100 cars. It is the largest gathering of previous IOE winners.
Huh. Who knew?
Wonderful.
Well, it's coming. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great event. Absolutely.
I'm so jealous.
Sorry, Denny. Sorry.
That's on you.
Sad face.
It's on you.
It's on you.
Dog.
Okay. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Nope. You'll either be the kind of person that loves a 24 or the kind of person that doesn't.
Yep.
And you'll know pretty quickly.
Yep. So
and here's the thing. You'll know pretty quickly, but you'll still, it's like Malort. You'll do it again.
So
not sure. Yeah, right.
Your experiences. Do you want to do a 24? Have you done one and never want to do another one? Like, tell us what's your deal and why. We'd love to hear about it.
Well, that is another option we didn't talk about. Let's say quickly. You don't have to run all 24 hours. You can say, you know what, that's not for us. Thanks. We're going to stop at some time in the evening.
No.
Rest,
Yeah.
eat, get up in the morning, get out there whenever you'd like, and finish up. And that's okay. There's nothing
That's
wrong
an
with that
interesting
at all.
concept.
That's
When everyone else is dead, you're like, yeah, I had a nice sleep last night. That was good.
I don't know. I mean,
high level thinking there, Mr. Abbott.
there's still cars going around, so it's when you're even if you're sleeping, it's not like normal sleeping at a racetrack.
Unless you leave.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're still there, then it's still racetrack active, even though it's nighttime. Weird.
Fair.
I see the color on this, but I feel like we're actually going to go back to our roots and have a for reals.
Oh,
Just tip.
it's been a while, so
Yeah.
great. All right. Do you want me to talk about this?
Sure.
Until I gigablast. Okay, so we're going to talk about jack and jack stand safety. One of our previous show. Oh, hi, there's a doggy. Previous guys on our show, good friend of the show, gentleman Dave.
Good friend of ours, all personally. Yes,
Correct.
Good-
I'm sorry.
good
Good friend.
dude.
Yes, fine.
Overall, good dude.
I apologize. Good friend. We heart you. Gentleman Dave had an incident. He just told the internet. Most of you probably are friends with him, or at least friends of yours on at least I saw it on Facebook. Heard about this. Yeah. But yeah, basically, from what I understand, he was working on the car, used a crappy jack and a jack stand. I believe there is jack stand, right? And the jack
Two jack
stand.
stands. Two jack stands under the car.
And
He was doing something with a bottle jack, and somehow the car and stand fell over, pinning him underneath the car.
Thank God that the jack stand wedged under the car enough to not completely go to the ground, which is probably what saved his life.
we almost lost a friend.
Yeah,
It was
probably what saved
frightening
his
to
life.
read the post. It was awful. Yeah.
So time, and make sure that they're stable and they're on stable ground, and that you shake the car when it's on the jack stands to make sure that it doesn't actually move, even though you think it should, or you think it shouldn't, you think it's fine. Go ahead, Chris. Do you have something?
I have just an add-on thing. We're
Sure.
done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just make sure that you're using the jack stands and don't be stupid. Don't think this is just a quick fix. I'll be done soon. I don't need to settle up the car because you never know what will happen. I think stable ground, I think, is also really helpful because I'm not sure that it was on stable ground at the time.
Yeah, having some plywood or something like that to help put the stands on if it's not stable as it goes along.
Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Metal's even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just as a backup, even if you have stands under there, I'm a big fan of putting the wheels and tires under the car, because then even if it falls, it's falling on the wheel and tire, and that's usually enough room that you're not going to die, or maybe even not get hurt that badly, because you get that squishy wheel and tire that'll support the weight of the car, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of time to listen, so I have a feeling he's probably listening. I hope you are on the road to recovery, and sorry this happened, but thank you for living and telling us about the story. So now we know that we should not do that and do.
Yes. Yeah. You scared us, Dave. We would prefer a world where you're in it.
Yep.
Really, really glad you're okay.
You talked about coming to Jersey, so he might be here.
Yeah.
Best wishes on a speedy recovery, Dave.
Yeah, buddy. Don't push it. You got a lot of healing to do, man.
Which is so
Okay.
much fun to do at our age.
I feel like this is not quite the right pivot, but if you're coming to Jersey, don't forget there's a potluck. Here's my advertisement. Yes, we're potlucking. Do a great job of it. Bring food, not just desserts. Enough to share from your team, not just the normal stuff. If you can help it. So there is a sign up. It's on there is now a new forum section for just potlucks. So that's where potluck things go. Sign up there if you can. I appreciate it. If you're still going to bring something and not sign up, that's fine too. But at least it makes me realize how much food we're going to have. So normal time, Saturday, 6:30 food drop, 7 o'clock eat. So 7 o'clock-ish. Yep. Okay, great. What are we talking about next week?
Jersey.
Okay.
Really?
We have 2 weeks till Jersey.
A little early for Jersey, but we'll
we
find
do
a
have
time.
2 weeks. We do have 2 weeks. You're right.
Oh,
So we'll figure something out for
we'll
next week.
figure it out.
Next, those we've got in the bag.
Yes.
It could be a spectacular hangover too.
It could be.
It could.
That's 4 stalls over.
Yes.
Okay.
Ew.
Oh boy.
That's why you got to go in sober. All right.
We done here?
Yeah, I think we're very done.
Or we're
Great.
digging. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Oh, goodness.
Ooh.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be safe. We'll see you soon.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.